Titan pussy.
Got it.
Yes!
Nice.
Clip it.
How
clip it.
rude.
Hi, everyone.
How rude.
Hello. Welcome back to Tragedy of Theolosian. Titan pussy. We're here. And last time on Tragedy of Theolosian, which I do see we have a new viewer here. Hello, Irish Jackson. We are a little far into the game, but just a brief overview. This is a 5e Greek mythology inspired TTRPG where we have many chosen that were chosen by gods due to a prophecy that's occurring. And last episode was actually pretty lore changing. So last episode, there was a deep dive into Ragna, the Iron Claw, which is a Fluffy Kumba's character. There was a deep dive into his consciousness and his memories due to Echo, a different version of Ragna, still having lingering memories within him, even though he is no longer connected to the consciousness at this point. After reviewing the footage, I think is the best way to put it. Everyone could see what had occurred, and we learned a little bit more about what happened in the other timeline of the heroes and the chosen, showing that most of the group, including some of the original group that is no longer currently with this group here, aren't in great spirits with each other, but are still trying to figure things out. We found that our two newest members, Mena and Noemi, are connected still into the story and into the prophecy, but just in a different way. And after seeing some large repercussions, such as Mena becoming an imploding nova, and Noemi being some sort of odd median between the group and whatever happened with Mena. Everyone woke up, and much to our lovely little cleric's chagrin, a looming enchantment consistency has occurred. The curse of the yellow X's in their eyes, but it's only one, so you know. Better than both. We are coming out of this straight from the memory, and Noemi and everyone still being in touch with one another. So directly, everyone is pulled from this moment.
Question. Sorry. I think, if I recall correctly, the reason I got the yellow X is because I was trying to pay attention to the to the symbols, and I realized that they were chaos, right? Symbols
Correct.
for chaos. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, that just came to me and I was like...
Yep. So during your time trying to look at the symbolism within the memory, because a lot of these symbols were not the same symbols that are used typically in religious standing in your timeline. The only one you could realize was one firmly familiar with your family, which is the multiple arrows in different directions, all coming together in one point in the middle.
You're saying we just got out of the memory?
I believe it was just out of the memory. Noemi
Because I think we talked a bit about it, because I remember establishing I remember making the joke that I'm like Ragna. That Ragnar and I are twins.
Oh yeah, so not directly out. There's been some talk. Yeah, noticing of the yellow X in the eye.
And like establishing that the symbols were for chaos.
Yes.
Yes. I think that's where we left off, where the symbols were chaos specifically. And then the other symbols you didn't quite recognize, but that was one you knew.
Okay. So what the fuck? Honestly, like,
we've been dealing with this sort of thing, kind of knowing that there was another universe, timeline, world thing, basically since we figured more out about Echo. So it's just this is a lot, because this is the first time I've seen you two, pointing to Mena and Noemi, you two being a part of it, which is pretty wild.
But something's not fitting correctly with me right now. I thought that this sky was red because of whoever escaped, but we saw a lot more memories than that. A long line of memories. And the sky was red the entire time.
I could definitely point out one part of the memory that was definitely familiar. I don't know who was talking, but it was someone talking, and there was hammering, but there was also like chains and everything. I don't know who specifically was talking, but I recognize the noises of that location and the feel of that location.
The noises and the hammer, if you're talking hammering in a deep, dank place, that would mostly be Hephaestus.
Could I roll, because Ragna and Kazimir have both been in Hephaestus's forge before. Could we roll to see if that sounds like what that was?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Feel free to go ahead and roll. You can use history. I'll also give you survival because of being attuned to your senses.
That's great. Unfortunately, I did get only a 9. So
Damn.
A 9.
yeah.
Did you say both
I-
of us or just Kaj?
If you would like to help, I'll let you help out, Kosh.
I'll help.
Okay, cool.
Get you another roll for that, buddy.
Yeah, because that was a 2 and that was a 1. So
No!
never mind.
Damn.
Wow, welcome back to the game.
That wasn't a core part of that memory, really.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so the hammering sounds thoroughly familiar, but the background noises are not directly something that you remember, if it's different or not. The whole scenario is very jarring, so it's hard to remember specifics right now.
Well,
I mean,
the only person I know that works no matter the circumstances, Hephaestus. And
I mean, I've never. Do you think that was Hephaestus's voice?
I mean,
That was like.
was it? I mean, yeah.
Because I've never heard Hephaestus's voice.
I mean, I know that old curmudgeon anywhere, yeah. And
I'm pretty confident. At least, I don't know, like 70%, 60% sure that was in Tartarus.
who would be hammering in Tartarus?
why would they be? Wait,
Well, I mean, I'm assuming if that.
Noemi, can you describe what Tartarus looks like to me or for us, please?
Ha!
Become a vessel.
Become a vessel of lore for me, please.
Well, I know. Well, I mean, as being a prison, there's lots of screaming, torture. The thing that was kind of more, I don't remember if we actually saw, like, we didn't see the people, we just heard like everything. But like there was like a methodical, there's, other than the the hammering, there was also a rhythmic sound that was happening which sounded like the stepping of guards doing patrol within Tartarus, which I have heard before.
Why would Hephaestus be locked in Tartarus? Wait, hold on.
Why would any god be in Tartarus besides Hades?
Well, Hades isn't in Tartarus. He's in the underworld and reigns over it.
I mean, I understand, but he would be the only god who would realistically have access to that. Why would an Olympian be in Tartarus?
One of the main 12. 12? 12.
12?
Was
12.
we only
The math isn't math.
heard Hephaestus? We didn't hear anyone else, correct?
No. I don't believe so.
I mean, another thing that was weird, everyone was bigger in that world? Like,
Actually, yeah.
like
And
noticeably.
everyone had yellow X's, right?
Right.
Right.
No, not everyone.
Not
was
everyone,
Caleo.
but like most people, right? It was like a majority.
Most of the people did, yeah, but the main characters, like here and like the characters that were there, did not. It was only Caleo.
Oh, Caleo was the only one that had yellow X's in that
Oh,
group. In
okay. I
the...
misremembered that. Mm.
I mean, like I said before, Kaj's contract with Eris was still intact. I don't know if Bastion's connection with Hera is there, considering
Um,
the state of Xerxes.
I mean, Bastion's the one that was wielding corpses.
Yeah.
Does he usually do that?
No.
Did the other
think I'd have to
Caleo
catch-
still hold symbolism of Hestia?
Yes.
Interesting.
I mean, I can not. As someone who is connected to Nezamine, could I tell that like I just like the look of magic, like how different that magic looked that Bastion was wielding?
I'm not sure if you'd be able to find the origin based off of how the magic looked. However, if you know Hera, being a necromancer may not be directly the best correlation.
This is the match.
So, in this timeline, because it's a different timeline, right? Echo's timeline.
Yeah.
In this timeline, Titans are in Tartarus. But
Right.
in that timeline, there were Olympians in Tartarus.
Well, at least one that we know of.
I mean, the state of the world definitely suggests a lot of stark differences in terms of the state of it. It's weird coming from me, but do you guys know about the big battle between the gods and the Titans?
That put the Titans in Tartarus in the first place?
Yeah.
Vaguely.
What if, and this is going to sound crazy, coming again from the guy who doesn't really fuck with gods. What if the difference is the winner?
Of the Titanomachy?
So would it be called the Olympianarchy?
It's
I
gotta
think
Bonk.
be the Olympian
The
Mackie.
Olympics? Would it be called the Olympics?
The Olympics. I mean, it would explain. I mean, it would explain why Hephaestus would be working down in Tartarus. It would maybe explain the much harsher conditions of how we were living, of the choices we were making.
if you want a war, first thing you want to do is take away the arsenal of the enemy.
And Hephaestus is the guy. I mean, the stories about the weapons alone changed several battles, several stories. Like Ragna, like rubs at his eye patch. The eye patch that connected to Echo. He's just like, maybe the fact that the Titans were in charge just made things not not worse, but hard. I'm gonna say worse, harsher, and whatever is in charge of the Yellow Axes was able to thrive more.
If the Titans won then, what happened differently? There's so many things that happened during that time.
How's Cassandra doing? Because Cassandra had to watch all of that and go through all of that.
You know that you know what? I'll let everyone do a check.
Insight.
Yeah, insight.
Check.
Ugh.
Oh my god, I got a high number, but I don't know if my
23.
Hey, 12.
Huzzah.
23.
Hey,
Wow.
23. Look at
12,
that.
12, 23, 23. Mena, are you feeling like you want to roll to see how she's feeling?
You know what? Yeah, I think we should.
I'm gonna roll how Mina's feeling. No.
Oh my god. What if you...
And then you go talk to Nesmi, like, hey, how's that footage going?
Yeah. What am I rolling?
Insight.
Insight, it would be to check and see how Cassandra is doing after relaying all that information, essentially.
Yeah. 3.
She's there.
Wow.
She's there.
She's there.
I'm gonna say for the 12s as well, you can't quite read it. It's just stunned at that point. But further past just stunned for the 23s. There's this combination of, oh god, thank god that I have nothing to do with this because I'm not alive. Not my problem. And then there's the immediate, like, eyebrow, like, raise of, oh, what if, oh, Tartarus, this could be my problem. So there's a lot of confliction there.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of conflict in her expression, but outright she just looks like she's taking it all in and has not a thing to say.
Right. I mean, that's, if there's going to be a difference in timelines, that's the big one. It honestly makes a lot of sense for the behavior of Echo when we first met.
And didn't he say that they failed the prophecy? That might unfortunately be why they were failed from the beginning. If the Titans are already in power, it's hard to overthrow them. When
We saw bits and pieces of that, right? We saw bits and pieces of them going on that quest.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, they made the key.
Mm-hmm.
Which is something I've seen, which he showed me before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or, yes. I mean, we talked about that quest, and they mentioned, and they showed me the key they made. And you would need to go to a place where that kind of blacksmithing can be done, and that's only where giants exist. So, TotalPartyKiss Major or Minor, and Major's the one that has the fire and ice giants, but we were looking for ice.
You know that most likely you're looking for ice based off of the type of metal,
Yeah, it has to be,
because the
flash
metal that
frozen.
you found is essentially, it's like snow. It has a structure like a snowflake, but it's metal.
Yeah,
And it's
it has to be
like
very
heavily filled.
specific.
Yes, very
Specific yet
specific.
random. It was the kind of vibe, right? Because it has to be done. It has to be made with mistakes in a very specific way or something like that.
Mm-hmm. That's why it's impossible to remake the mold without having the mold.
Yeah.
Now, another thing I want to bring up. You were not in TotalPartyKiss Major or Minor. It looks like you were in a very...
Yeah.
Like it was almost like the same area you were in when you were at Scythen. Like, it was main continent. You weren't in a region that didn't seem... The what am I trying to say? The weather was similar to the weather you had in that area.
Right.
And it wasn't heavily snowing or heavily volcanic like you know TotalPartyKiss Major to be.
Yeah. I get the procedure, and despite the randomness of the technique, I understand it kind of. I would have to see it more up close personally. But the region they were doing it in doesn't make sense. And without any knowledge of maybe the stars or landmarks over there.
I mean, it's what? A technique that only ice giants know? Frost giants?
I mean, it would be... It's one of their most kept secrets, yeah.
Is there just, any famous ice giant blacksmiths that are not in their homeland?
We met one frost giant, but that was a very outlier circumstance. He wasn't blacksmith type, but I've never met any other frost giants, so I don't know.
I mean, would it be profitable for us that once we get out of here, or if we can ask Hades themselves, if someone, I don't know, get a recommendation, like a
like a
a Yelp
resume,
review.
something.
But would it be profitable to go back to the port that we left from and ask your parents if they know anybody?
I mean, my dad most likely would know. He's the one who traveled during his Odyssey. So we could ask him.
So if Hades doesn't give us a recommendation, I guess the next place we go after this would be back to your home.
To Veltios.
Yeah.
Once we figure out how to get a boat.
How to get back. That's the thing. Getting back is going to be the journey, I suppose. But first we need to find just more information from Hades in general, see what they know about what we're going through.
I kind of do want to look over at Mena.
Mm-hmm.
And just as Ragna's figuring out stuff of just hey, are you okay? Because we kind of saw each other just kind of fight each other and die.
Did you hear what they said? They've heard of this prophecy before, and we weren't in it.
We were... from what it looked like, that Mena was actively against it, and still unsure of where the version of you was standing.
This all feels like more meddling to me. Something about it these gods, the way they behave, they meddle. Had I not come with this crew, had I not met Apollo, maybe I wouldn't be a part of this vision at all. Maybe neither would you. I feel like someone's meddled in my life, in my future.
Do you think someone's meddled with the thread of fates in our lives?
That's how I feel. That's what I think. I think that's all they do.
I mean, do you think someone, like, bribed the fates or, like, convinced the fates to make us part of it?
Even if it wasn't as sinister as all that. The point is, I wasn't a part of this dreadful future. I meet Apollo. He sends me here. Now there are visions of me behaving
But I
in
mean
a
that.
way I don't understand.
But that, in a way, that wasn't us. None of it was us. Like, it's a different path.
Could be.
Maybe it's just that we weren't seen before was just because we haven't. They just didn't know who we were at that point. So.
Right. And now they do. And now we're a part of it. And now that future is a possibility. All I'm saying is I don't like them. I don't like the way they meddle. I don't like the way they affect our lives. But that's just me.
I think Naomi's gonna lean in like a little bit closer and like a little bit husher tones of like, okay, but how are I before we went in, I heard your last thoughts.
Oh,
Are you okay?
Oh. Sorry, it was a bit of a moment. What were my last thoughts? I'm sorry if you.
You were replaying a certain scene in your mind with. Are you and Caleo like a thing now?
Oh. That I suppose you're right. I was thinking about that. Wasn't I? Well, the answer to that question is, I think if you heard what I was thinking, you could probably figure out no. Hence the strife with the conversation. Something is there, but
They refuse to give you their heart.
oh, you heard like all of it. Okay, well, so oh, sure, okay. Well, I guess there's no harm then. No, they will not be doing that. Apparently. So no, and I will respect Kaleo's wishes on the matter. So I'm fine, I guess. It's
Sure.
been a
Mm,
long
yeah.
journey.
You're fine. Okay. Well,
Yes.
ever if you ever want to, you know, open the bottle a little bit and not keep it suppressed,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
if you just need to vent, I'm here. Look, I, I mean, it's. I want to say it's like evidently clear that you care for Caleo, but like you're.
Clear how? Clear in like what way?
You know, uh, I mean, it could be just your fast reflexes and athletic body, but you were a little bit first to react to Caleo getting that X in their eye. And also um you're like even now you're kind of like sitting almost facing them more than everyone. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna I'm just gonna
No, no,
oh
I mean it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Here's the thing. Um, we haven't even known each other all that long in the grand scheme of things.
I mean it's been at least a month.
It's enough time for me to know that Caleo is special.
Yeah. I Trust me, I
But
get that. I get that. Mm-hmm.
but I'm comfortable them turning me away hasn't changed how I feel, so why would I change how I act?
Okay. Well, us newbies gotta stick together.
Oh yes. I'll think about the whole talking about it thing, but
Like
it's
it's
fine, Noemi.
I know like it's not everyone's cup of tea of doing that, but I just want to leave the door open if you ever need it.
I appreciate that. Um, it's far from our biggest problem at the minute.
Yeah, but you know, sometimes topics are never. There's never a right time to bring up things. And it seems like the longer that we stay with this group, the more it's just like every time is a bad time. So
Yes, yes. There's very little opportunity to relax and reflect, which maybe is a good thing, considering. But and and Mina just like sort of like reaches out a hand and like pats you once on the shoulder and is like, "And how are you doing?"
with yeah, it was weird seeing me with a lot of eyes, um,
Yes,
and also
very strange.
I mean I kind of want to make her dress. Her dress was really good.
Mm.
Um,
Can you do that? Do you?
I can druid craft something to kind of resemble it, but to like make it like as detailed as it. It's not as. I'm not a seamstress. I might have to go to someone and figure that out. But I can like make something. I mean, I would rather not be kamikazed by anyone, especially not by you. And once I have once Nesmine is done doing whatever she's doing, I'm gonna have a lot of questions for her.
Agreed. Well,
yeah, that's it. Nothing else is on my mind at all.
oh, the way you said that, you sort of said that and then pinched your lips together in a way that seemed like maybe you don't quite mean it.
It's a bad time.
It's a bad time. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Maybe when we get out of here, we can have a drink of something and we can talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'd like that.
All right. We are getting out of here.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. All right. Does anyone else have conversations they want to have with one another, with someone else?
I just want to do a little thing.
Little thing.
Just a tiny,
You and
just
your
a
fucking
tiny little thing.
things. Oh my God.
Just a little thing.
Little thing.
Caleo's. Are we starting to walk and talk at this point, or are we kind of standing around and talking?
I mean, I guess it depends on what is the plan after this. 'Cause essentially go back so Ragna can get his sword back from his ancestor.
Oh yeah.
It's that, and then because we were promised if we stayed here for a hot minute, we would get guided, I think, by one of the I can't remember. Was it which year was it? That was real
Heracles?
Heracles. That's right. Heracles promised that he would.
I hated that.
we were all cool with him, and then he started talking. We were like, oh.
He's a
I think if they're just standing there, I think when Noemi's not looking, not Noemi, when they're both not looking, actually, Clay's just gonna look at them a little jealously, one might say.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Trying to make a triangle?
How'd you feel about the shoulder touch?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why
physical
Clay's
contact.
looking.
Oh, terrible.
I love boy love.
That's it.
I love Bia. I know.
I love Bia. Good Lord, Serenity. Oh man.
Just like eyes just zero in on that hand, and he'll just turn away a little bit abruptly, and then probably walk with Ragnar back towards the group to get his sword back.
Ragnar will notice that with his insane insights.
Ragnar will remember that.
Ragnar will remember all that. Just people in love are weird.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So weird. Why would anyone be weird about that?
It's fucking crazy.
Crazy.
That's fucking crazy.
Andre, will you do me a favor?
Uh-huh.
Will you roll me a little... You could either choose perception...
Me? No.
Andre.
No.
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 I'm not shitting you. It's a nat 20.
Hey.
Fuck yeah. Okay.
In that case, yes, actually.
Take it away.
God. Thank you for your permission.
This is a meritocracy.
Okay, so I would say you could use insight or you could use perception or investigation.
Okay, perception, insight, or investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perception is the highest. That's a 27.
Okay.
Nice.
So you start looking around. You've been through all this. But a thought pops into your head. One that no one has asked in a long while. And something that not a lot of people have thought of, and it pops up. Where the fuck is Enigma?
We asked that last session!
Yeah, that was a long time ago. It was like 4
far
weeks
away.
ago. No,
Oh,
but
no.
hidden. Enigma was hidden.
Yes.
But Enigma is not hidden at this point.
Oh.
So, as everyone's doing their own thing, talking about relationships, being jealous of said talks about said relationships,
There's just a dragon?
Kosh, you look over, and you see a little itty bitty dragon curled up on the other side of the fountain. And they seem to be shaking.
And it's Enigma.
It's Enigma, yeah.
Okay, not just another random
no.
dragon. Okay.
No, it's your dragon.
Okay,
It's your
okay.
your
What you
dragon.
mean shake?
Does anyone happen to remember when Gaia told us that Enigma couldn't remember who she was, otherwise shit was gonna go bad if that happened? Because I remember.
Mm.
Milena remembers.
Elena, remember?
Melissa remembers. And Depth.
I will not.
Just reminding the class.
Whoops.
Whoops.
Okay. Can Kazimir advance without being noticed?
You want to roll a little stealth for me? And you get advantage?
I'm actually not bad at stealth.
Pretty good.
Good thing. And you have advantage, so good.
Okay. Stealth, that's a 22.
Okay. Over the sound of the bubbling water right next to the since they're right beside the fountain, you are able to easily come up. And as you come closer, you see her with her hands, claws over her face, her tail wrapped around her. As you just see her back and her shoulders shaking, and her wings aren't quite to the point of where she's encompassed herself.
Mm-hmm.
She's not fully balled up, but her wings are flexing in and out. Like they're going into a resting position and then stretching out and then coming back in.
Mm-hmm. Kazimir is just going to kneel down and not touch Enigma, kind of tap the side of the fountain next to Enigma, being like, Enigma? Are you okay?
The claws suddenly come up off the face, and almost like a scared cat, you see Enigma bounce off their feet and into a hiked up scared cat pose
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
before he will settle seeing who it is. And hi.
Hey. What's going on? You seem very reclusive.
No spiders here, just me thinking about stuff.
You say spiders?
Yeah, recluse.
Oh. Okay.
Are there spiders in the afterlife?
Spiders die.
I assume spiders die.
The spiders die. There must be spider souls in Hades somewhere. Spider hell. It's real. Be afraid.
We'll be afraid.
So, is there anything I can do for you right now? You know?
I would like. Can I have a ride, but not on your shoulders or on your horns? Can it be? Can you pick me up?
Just grab you.
Don't say it like that. I'm afraid you're just gonna snatch me up. You got big hands.
Could you imagine if fucking
Careful.
cautious, like fucking yoink, like the
And just
guy in the Everglades? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Just
He-
hurt.
He goes, okay. I- if you are not comfortable saying so, that's okay. Okay. You don't have to tell me. Is there a reason why?
I would like to be in the arms of a friend right now. Please.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I was going to do it. Not that. That was just me wondering. Okay. Okay. And then we'll like cat pick up Enigma. Long. That's a little swishy. Yes. Perfect. And then just like
Just a
almost like
Big stretch.
I mean, Kaja's held a baby before. I think at this stage, Kaj says, do you want to be held like a baby? Or do you want to be thrown across my back like a dead deer?
I say it all with your like nat 20 perception. When you say like a baby, they look very happy. When you say like a dead deer, they immediately like instead it entirely changes.
Okay, so like a baby. Okay.
Yep. So you cradle them like a very small baby.
Giving a little pats for little burpees.
Burpees.
After a couple of moments, Enigma really seems to like curl up and like find a comfortable spot. Before there's a whisper that comes through. I would like you to roll with advantage to try to hear it.
Okay.
Did you say guidance?
Maybe.
So is that
It was just muted, so I just saw you go.
that's a +4 D4?
I'm not there, so I can't give guidance, but I'm giving it
Oh.
spiritually.
Okay.
Spiritually, you have a D4 extra.
Okay.
I need
So
to touch you.
that was a 25.
Damn.
25. Yeah.
Yeah.
You hear the voice come through. At first it's very quiet. Which is so odd already for Enigma. Then your ears kind of tune in a bit more to try to figure out what's being said. And then you hear. No, I'd say you would hear all of it. You would hear all of it. You hear her say, "Hey, promise me that the only time that you'll grab me was nice, like this, okay?"
Okay. I promise.
You think they have muffins down here?
I don't know. Do dead people eat?
They should!
I agree.
We can't eat anything from down here.
Oh, they definitely eat, and we can't eat right now. I'm so sorry.
We gotta
It's like
get
the one thing. It's like the one thing. It's the
That's
biggest
one rule.
thing.
Similarly, like there's like 2 rules: don't talk shit about Hades, don't eat anything. Okay,
Talk
that's.
shit about not eating anything!
I mean, that's probably okay.
And there's just like not like legitimate like upsetness, but just more like, you know, when you're trying to find comfort in something and it's
Mhm.
not readily available. So it's more like the I'm trying to be the bigger person and cope without my coping mechanism.
Mhm.
But fuck, I miss my coping mechanism.
Yeah.
And you see one of their claws go into their little bag that's around their neck, and you hear the shuffling of marbles as they're just kind of grabbing at them.
You gotta have your STEM toys, dude.
Little stem marbles.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
But now, if you return to everyone, at this point, Enigma is not going to hide again. So Enigma will just stay in your arms as long as you will pretty much let her. But she seems, after a couple of moments or minutes of being held like this, fairly malleable. So if you need to use your hands and move her elsewhere, she'll stick on you, but
I just like throw her on my shoulder like a fucking towel while I'm like doing dishes, you know? Just
then you just see a dragon tail kind of like flickering, and then you hear like behind your ear like marbles.
I don't know if
Mhm.
anyone knows this cat on TikTok, but it's the cat that's like really like attached to like hugging their owner, and I'm just imagining that where the cat is just like up and like has their little paws around their neck and is like hugging them.
Oh,
I'm just imagining that. With
I know the
Enigma.
one. That's a cute ass cat. Yes. Yeah.
I would say something like that. So if you throw them over your shoulder, they'll instead kind of like a little scarf
Mm-hmm.
will surround themselves, and because you have a fairly large neck, they're
I have-
probably going to like take one of their hands and like grab their tail, and then the other one you hear shuffling of marbles. So then they're like locked in and
Mhm.
around you, but not choking you out.
Yeah. Yeah. Heard.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. Is next up going back to your ancestor and getting your sword back, Ragna?
I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Leonin.
Leonin. How are they? How are they?
6A has been fairly active.
Nice.
And you're beginning to hear the like booming low like ha ha as you're hearing her using the sword. And it seems to be against a tree, and it's the same similar color of everything else here that's very like monochrome.
Mhm.
But as she cuts into the tree, when she pulls back, the wound that's been done kind of just goes over, and it looks like no damage has been done.
Mhm.
Until you see her finally kind of lock in on how the sword is supposed to be used.
Mhm.
She'll take both hands onto the hilt, take a few steps back, and you see her begin to spin and spin and use her like herself as like a centering point before walking up to the tree and yeah, fully cutting the tree. And the top falls before you see, almost unnervingly, the tree forming its own branches and kind of tendrils to grab the top of the tree and pull it back into position and lock back in.
I mean,
You don't
it
like
gotta
a
grow
tree
somehow.
You don't like self-regenerating tree?
Cells tree. It just growing back.
Yeah, not even regenerating the tree. They're just let's
Just
put that back.
grabbing it and
Yeah.
popping it back on.
And as you walk over, she's
I don't know
beaming.
what depths
Are
happened.
you okay? Was that a yellow? Was that a red? Are you good?
I made a very bad joke.
What
Oh,
did you
no.
say? Tell the
I
class.
said I cut down the tree and then I put myself on top of it. You said tendrils! Not my fault!
I'm sorry.
Ah.
It's my fault. So you see her and she's just beaming in pride and she's very excited about what you made. Now remind me, where is your family's, like where you put your stamp?
The family sigil is like on the base of a pommel.
Okay. You now see a new mark on here where it looks like on the base of the blade near the hilt. There's a thumbprint that has been burned into it. As unfortunately, per my canon, there are no pens and this is much cooler.
Cool.
So she will hand it back to you in, it's not in pristine condition the way you handed it, but it's not messed up. Like if you just take a little oil to it.
Right. They've been swinging that thing for a while.
Yeah, it's typical. Yeah, it's typical wear and tear from using it.
We were only gone for like what, an hour or two? I don't know how long we've been gone for, but damn.
It's probably been 15 minutes.
Damn. Through the ringer.
Well, it's typical wear and tear.
Yeah, I know.
Also, she's been spending this time trying to figure out how it works best, and then she finally figured it out.
Gotcha.
But she will hand it back over to you and go, I hope my signature is good enough. It should stay.
He just like looks at it and he's just gobsmacked. He just goes like, this is an heirloom forever and ever. I don't even like. Wow.
What's
And
her
he's
name
like,
again?
It's 6A. So it's
Six.
CIXE.
Thank you, Lady 6A. I hope you enjoyed it. I saw you cut the tree down. Wow, that was impressive. I mean, then it kind of grew back. It was gross, but the slice was impressive.
It's a good weapon. I, unfortunately, haven't had many weapons to utilize here. We have the weapon we come with. And that's it. There's no use for them. It's
what
more
weapon did you
for...
have on you?
You will see 2 scimitars, one on each side.
Amazing.
So it's been a while. So glad to see something more foundational.
It is a metal of my and my friends' creation. It's like celestial metal, but we prefer to call it ragnium.
That's the face she makes. She goes, oh.
Yeah. It surprised even Hephaestus. Even he didn't know how well it was made.
And you just feel an arm come around you, and then just you feel this hard pat like on your chest. And she goes, that's my kin! And she's very excited and boisterous about the fact that you've impressed even a god. Even though fuck the gods. But you impressed a god. Before she'll just kind of turn your face to her, and she will press her forehead against your head. Before pat against your chest again. Be safe. I do not wish to see you here too soon. Even if you are here, time is hard. But I want to hear all the stories. So you better make plenty.
I promise I will.
Good. Now go. Go, 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 go.
I need to speak to Haruko. Like he's still he's like, I need to speak. We need to. Where is he at? What is he? That turned to like look for
Heracles.
Heracles. Yeah.
He's still sitting and drinking, and having a good time. As Cassandra has made her way back. He notices and says something. And you see there's like a bustle of like, not like laughter as in something's funny, but like something was intense that just happened.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll look over to all of you. And then he'll pretty much mouth,
We'll turn to 6A one last time. Just give him a hug. Roll a quick. He was like, I'll see you again. Not soon, but soon. And he rides off.
good. And you could hear the last thing you hear is just under her breath you hear in Leonin, he reminds me of me. And then just like a bustle of laughter before, if you turn to see, she walks back to the group she was with before. Heracles will stand up, stretch, finish his wine, before walking to you all. Okay, so are you ready to go?
Yes.
Yes. Yep. Let's get out of here.
Sure.
Do we see you carrying? Is Enigma fully like out?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit. Well,
I
like,
give little scritches.
You
Whoa, whoa.
hear dragon purring.
yeah. We'll walk up, and we'll pet them too. I'm surprised you're out. Everything okay?
Yep.
All good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Enigma suddenly turned into a 50-year-old woman that's been chain smoking for 40 years.
Good.
Yeah.
No, honey.
You don't become the goddess of nature and order without, a pack of cigarettes a day.
There's a lot of wildfires in these lungs.
I was going with a little John route. Yeah.
Both are.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Okay.
And we'll just be like, sorry, we kind of didn't interact with you for a while. It's been, I know, we're learning a lot about ourselves. We'll take them. Take them, like fully outstretched.
Mhm.
Big stretch.
Yeah, big stretch.
Big stretch.
Give them some scritches, some scratches. You sure
I'm
you're
okay.
okay? You sure?
I'm okay. I just had a time, but Kazimir made it so much better, and he promised that, actually, all of you need to promise me right now that this, and I imagine that she's still just hanging like this, just out in the air.
Right.
This is the only way you will grab me. Not mean. No mean.
I mean, what?
Of course not.
We'd never like snatch you up incorrectly. We only do it with your consent.
Oh, I know. But, I gotta make sure.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's good to establish boundaries. Thank you
Yeah.
for putting that with us.
Anyone who'd like to roll an insight check absolutely can. You're all there.
Yeah! Guidance!
I can't wait for the edit where someone takes the song and then just puts yeah, and then I just have to make like a little enigma, like okay. There you go.
Could I use insight or animal handling?
She's not an animal! AJ, she's a person!
She's the goddess of nature. Get it right.
I'm just
Well, she doesn't know that though.
I don't know. I think Enigma is a pseudo dragon. That's
She's a pseudo-dragon.
All I know about Enigma.
Yeah, all you know is fairy dragon. Let me see.
Which is still wild.
No, because fairy dragons are still dragons,
Right.
not beasts.
24.
I mean,
25.
I got a nat 20 anyway, so that's
Damn.
25. 25 in total, but nat 20.
Yeah.
I got
I got a 25. Not natural, but 25.
Does Mena want to roll?
Let's see Mina's insight.
If it's better than a 3, we're doing good.
You're also muted, Dylan, if you're talking.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Did you want to roll?
Yeah, I do. Hang on, my thing went away. What am
That's
I
my
rolling?
favorite answer whenever we ask Dylan. Yeah.
Insight.
Insight again.
Insight on
Let me
Enigma.
On Enigma.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's better. 19.
Nice.
Oh, hell yeah. You did really good. AJ, I'll give you your stuff in a little bit because you got nat 20. But you all saw as Ragna went out and picked up Enigma. There was like a slight flinch. But as soon as like it was a secure hold that wasn't too tight or too hard, they were perfectly fine. So it was very split second. However, this is never a reaction Enigma's ever had before. For the nat 20, you also see that Enigma is specifically looking at certain people.
I was just about to ask. I want to look around and see who the fuck was near the fountain.
Oh, no. So not anyone outside of the group, but when Enigma is stating that she would like to be held in a specific way and not be gripped meanly.
Yeah.
She looks to Ragna and she looks to Kazimir. And only
never mind.
those two. She looks at everyone just for a general consensus, but the concerned glance that you're seeing, Noemi, is to Ragna and to Kazimir. And those are the only people she seemed worried about.
I don't think this was brought up. Did we see Enigma in the vision at all?
You did not see Enigma. None of you saw Enigma.
Yeah.
Did at some point did Enigma, I mean, I don't know if I would know this, like, did Enigma enter in this, like, the vision state that we were all in?
I will give you advantage to roll, so I'd say Arcana would probably be the best bet.
It's maybe something.
Or History. I'll give you History too, whichever you prefer.
It's probably going to be Arcana because Arcana is my best skill. That is a 25.
25. So you don't have a lot of experience specifically with like prophecies and oracles and going into other memories. That's new. That this is a whole new thing. However, you do know the look of someone who has gone into a spell or something magical in the midst of it being cast rather than the initial casting. There are sometimes slight side effects and differences in people when they try to join into something at a different time than when everything was initially cast. So, say if someone went into a summoning circle, and they used the summoning circle, and then they left. But before the summoning circle dissipated, and someone else stepped onto it to use it, there could be side effects from that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very small noticeable things, just like a slight like difference in like the way their eyes are focusing, and the way their breathing is. It's something like a medical professional can see certain changes in how someone's acting that someone normally wouldn't understand. You would have to know magic extremely well to be able to see these side effects.
So it was something that happened while the spell was cast, and not something that she like stepped into while it was in progress.
Your thought is because Enigma was not there in the initial casting, that Enigma had touched and joined in.
Yeah.
In the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very plausible they didn't see exactly what you were saying.
Okay.
Because we were
all connected to see what Echo was seeing. We were parsing through Echo's memories that was lingering within you.
Mm-hmm.
And you were already deep in that.
We were
deep in that, and also from the level of essentially spell that I did, I was only able to accommodate that many people. So having another source touch me or touch any of us could have made shit. Could have made Enigma not necessarily part of the vision that we saw, but could have unintentionally unlocked something within Enigma's memory.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Because like it's if you join in a memory quest not the right way, something tells me you're not just gonna see one person's memories. You might even see yours.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And if they're flinching at me and Kaj, then we met before, and it didn't go well. That's from what I'm guessing, at least.
The poor baby.
But they seem perfectly fine now. After, if you're still holding them like this, they'll probably go, "Hey, can you like support me?"
Yeah, I got you. I mean, like you want a shoulder, head? What's the?
Yes.
You gotta choose one.
Grip.
It is, and we'll like
down.
Shoulder.
Yeah, just anything at this point to be like grounded in.
Yeah.
And then they'll make a comfy spot, kind of wrap themselves and hold themselves there.
Yeah.
But then you do hear the clanking of like.
Yeah. Oh, that's not bad for someone.
ASMR only for the people on stream because
Discord
was not picking it up.
ASMR.
Nope.
Shit.
Nope.
Someone fix it.
Fix it. Nope. Not even on your end, Adrian.
No, I'm saying the people on stream can hear it.
Yeah, because it's only the Discord that's limited.
Right.
Well, you gotta go watch the stream. Oh, I heard that one.
Oh, that's a good one.
You gotta turn off the background noise option on Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's stupid. But yeah, other than that, Heracles is ready to take you all when you are ready.
Let's go.
Let's
Okay.
get out of here.
Go ahead. Let's take a little break before we go to the next boss.
Get
Then.
the fuck out of here, guys.
Let's get the hell out of
Fuck out.
Dodge.
All right.
Let's take a little break. Do we want 10 minutes, 5 minutes?
If we could do, oh, you know what is a good question? If we don't have to talk about this on stream. Do we know how long we're going tonight?
I'm really only setting up the next part, so I imagine it's not going to be terribly long, but I want to make sure people get a break in case roleplay or something breaks out.
Sure. All right, I'm okay with whatever.
Let's do 5. Okay,
5.
we'll be back in 5 minutes. Go eat, go get drink, go piss it then. We'll see you in 5.
Love you.
didn't do it.
Wow.
Didn't I?
That's
Didn't I?
the amount of
Didn't I?
self-restraint that
It was
took.
so smooth. None of us saw it. You want to see him do it again? Right. It is.
Wow, that was
My
like crazy,
vibes-
dude.
My vibe's so off now. Anyway.
Gotta keep you on your toes.
Mm.
Welcome back. So jumping right into it, Heracles will talk your fucking ears off. As you all begin to walk, and you're seeing the over-encompassing beauty of this level of Hades. And you're seeing many, many heroes that you know of and don't know of. Hidden heroes, hidden people who have earned their place here. And you see a very wide encompassing amount of them. You even see some giants that are here.
Are there any of my kind here?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Mm.
Yeah, I'd say the only person who doesn't seem someone like them here would be Noemi. But he's talking and talking. At some point, like, you could clock back into the conversation, and he's talking about something in his past and trying to, like, equate it to, like, a question, but then he'll continue talking. So it's very, like, rhetorical questions in mind. But essentially, time being an enigma, the clock passes, and what feels like it could be 10 minutes, what feels like it could be a few hours, goes through before you are brought to the edge of this beautiful landscape. And the area down into the next layer, rather than the slightly rickety stairway down, there is no way to get back up. So rather, you just see a portal. And it's glowing this poison green color. It doesn't innately look dangerous, but it's certainly giving off an air of necrotic energy.
How's the captain and vice captain doing?
How they been?
They were not involved in your circle.
No.
Well,
Were they talking to the other heroes and this?
Oh
amazing.
yeah.
Okay.
I was saying vice captain. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, you go.
I was just to say vice captain was mainly just sticking beside Court to make sure she didn't get into trouble. Like there were times where she went to pick up food and he just went and pushed it back down. And then he'd be like, "Hey, you have to remember, we can't eat here." Shit, you're right. And then she'll do it again, like 10 minutes later, because they're offering it to her.
That's a good co-captain if he's keeping them alive.
Nope.
That's a solid co-captain.
But very excitedly talking to people. Most of these people are not in the main circle of like very pronounced and known heroes, but they seem to be offshoots of people that you don't instantly recognize. But they're good. What were you gonna say, Deb?
So Heracles has led us to. This is the portal to the next level, right?
Yes.
Does this location match up to our map at all?
Yes, you do see that there is one portal that is leaving this level.
How many floors do we got left?
You see there are quite a few.
Alright. Let's get a move on.
On to the next one. Thanks.
Okay, it is-
Thanks, Heracles.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, if you're ever back here, just look for me. I'm excited to hear all your tales. I'm sure they're very interesting. Love to hear them.
Caleo goes through.
Caleo's first.
Caleo will laugh before he
Customers want you
Yeah.
to try and get ahead of you.
racing
Push out of the way.
Can't stand this guy.
Get me out of here.
Yeah.
I'd rather go deeper into hell than hear this guy talk anymore.
Goodbye, fellow citizen. You know, that's the vibe that you're getting right here.
100%.
100%.
Okay, who is first to step in? Because it is a one-person.
Roll off.
So-
Roll off.
Roll off, roll
Yeah,
off,
I
roll
mean,
off.
I went through as
It's
Heracles was
the
talking,
first
like
word, the first
So I
word.
feel like it's Caleo
Yeah.
and then it's Kazimir, like immediately after. Caleo,
mm-hmm.
what do you believe happens after you die?
Oy, oy, oy.
What is your afterlife beliefs?
Caleo's very traditional. He believes that he'll be judged and he will go to where they designate him. Very simple.
Do you think, because I want to collaborate on this, do
Mhm.
you think Hestia has specific orders and gifts aligned for those in the afterlife of people that she has worked with specifically? Or do grave clerics have a specific idea of where they could go? Like essentially like religiously, like Christians versus other people. Where do you like heaven, essentially?
I think in his teachings there have been I think there have been things that have been taught to him as a grave cleric, which kind of denote that like grave clerics obviously have a higher chance to go to Asphodel, but Caleo, with what the path that he is on, it's a weird sort of. He was very adamant that he would be going to the Fields of Punishment upon death, especially if he managed to successfully fulfill his goal. But there is this weird kind of internal battle happening now, in which a lot of the people that he met in Asphodel were on quests for revenge as well. But he's also not letting himself hope for it because he feels that his intent is a little darker and less noble than what the heroes in Asphodel were doing when they went on their vengeful quests.
Okay. Kazimir,
Mm-hmm.
what are your beliefs, familial and personal, on the afterlife, and what were you promised?
Familially, Kazimir was raised within a family that was very agrarian, very agricultural. So their vision of the afterlife is a lot more dominated by Persephone than by Hades. And they believe that the fields of Elysium are actual fields that are to be like worked eternally and give like the richest fruit in the universe, like are like so succulent that like if someone were to eat them, it wouldn't just be that they were trapped in Hades, it would be that they are so entrancing in their savoriness and their resplendent like profile that it just dominates your mind. And that the afterlife is to be like like a forever workplace, and like something that there was never downtime in the underworld. There's always something to do, and that is how souls are like kept up, kind of thing. Kazimir, as stated many times throughout the show, is not very religious at all. I think Kazimir has a lot more. I don't think Kazimir really even thinks he's making it to the good side of Hades. If he's making it to Hades, frankly. But I think he's a lot more open to it now that, I mean, for one, he's here. And two, that he sees a lot more of like the bigger picture now.
Okay. Who walks through next?
One of our new ones.
You know what?
I think
no,
I'm
I mean,
last.
I feel like I would stay if I see that Caleo has gone in through first, and I would be right behind them, but Kazimir is there, and I think that the next person that that I am worried about is Noemi. So I will stay. I will go right before Noemi.
Yeah, I'm. Because of things that I will say later, I am taking in the Fields of Elysium right now.
Okay.
That means I guess I go next.
Ragna, same question. What does your family, Leonins, the Iron Claw, your own personal beliefs, what do you believe you are promised in the afterlife?
Yeah. It's weird because Leonin do not respect the gods. They don't respect their process. They know they exist. They understand that they will be going somewhere when they die. But I don't think they pay the toll to cross the river. And I think much like how they lived on the surface, they band together almost to shun the realm itself, band together in the underworld, taking solace in their strength as a pride, and will always come to pick up and gather their kind, in both pride and strength until they're forgotten, essentially. And it's almost like the trust for gods is so the distrust for gods is so strong that they would rather stick together in limbo or wherever the savannah of their pride is, and stick together and gather together, that they know that they have each other still, even in the afterlife.
Okay.
I think personally, Ragna believes that. Ragna used to believe that, right? And now he's met several gods. He's been to Elysium, seen the one that was punished, and he's met the ones responsible for punishing them. And honestly, at this point, he would still want to be with family, but he's met so many other people that he would miss. Most importantly, he would miss Fontes. And being the thought of being separated from them hurts. It really hurts because he almost lost her all those months ago, and he lost her in another world he's scared of that most of all. He doesn't know where she'll go.
Mena, yours is a bit different. You're not from this plane. So, what do you think your family, your people, your plane's thoughts on the afterlife are?
We thought, I was raised initially to think that we simply return to the sky where we came from. We take our place amongst the clouds, within them, and become just a part of the air. Later, Mena learned about the kind of afterlife that Caleo spoke about. And it seemed like a nice idea when Mena first heard about it. For Mena now, there's a bit of uncertainty as to which he actually believes in. But the most important thing, the one that he hopes for, is to go wherever there are no gods.
Okay. Lastly, Noemi, what do you and your family, separately or together, believe is waiting for you in the afterlife?
I honestly think that it's a little bit complicated, since my ancestors are from Tartarus. So there's really an uncertainty of what happens when. Because they're like, from the memories, from the memory that I have so far seen, they could still die in Tartarus. But where that soul goes is unknown. And when Gaia brought us out, well, brought some of our people out, I think it was just kind of like a belief of, because we kind of started off with like a druidic teachings and learning about the earth and everything. So, one, there were some of my people that were just living a long time, because just druids live a long time. But they do eventually die, and I think they started to choose to believe that we just go back to the earth. And now, seeing the fields and not in kind of almost expectantly seeing none of Noemi's kind there. There's a little bit of like, oh, if I do die, well, when I do die, because I'm with this group of people, would I gain access here? Or is it because that I am from Tartarus? Well, my family's from Tartarus. My soul really has nowhere to go.
Any last thoughts? Caleo, you walk through first. So you are first to step in, and you find yourself no longer in the fields of Asphodel, but now in an area where you see a path and offshoots to this path. As someone who has led people to their afterlives numerous times, your afterlife in this moment, based off of who you are right now, would be to lead yourself to your own afterlife. And you don't see anyone else that's arrived with you. All you see is a path mainly going forward and offshoots of said path. And those areas are covered in fogs. So you can't quite tell where they each go. Kazimir, you step through, and immediately, with you transferring over, the scent of wind and breeze hits your nose before you open your eyes. And the area that you come to is going to be a beautiful, gorgeous field. And you see many, many Minotaur and many other people that seem to be of the same mindset that you were raised. Hard at work. And the breeze will come through again. And not only does the fresh air and an air of just calm go over your body, for the first time in a long time, you feel your muscles forcibly relax and your shoulders are no longer up towards your ears, but rather falling slack. But you smell this delicious golden fruit that just, when it hits your nostrils, you've heard tales of what ambrosia and nectar would be like. But you've never smelled something so luxurious, so heartwarming, so comforting, and so damning, all at the same time. Ragna, your beliefs of your family are ones that last to those who are not already within the gates. And your own torn soul has you out for much longer before you finally land somewhere with a very familiar person, a little dragon on your shoulder still. And when you open your eyes, there is only darkness and nothingness. You are the first Leonin who has not been granted into the fields of Asphodel, hasn't been granted a hero's afterlife to be here in such a long time. There is no afterlife that has been provided to you. Now you just have a blank slate. Mena,
Mm-hmm.
as you transfer through this spot, you feel yourself elevate as if you are being pulled up into the sky, having that moment of thankfulness that the pain that Apollo has caused and the pain that you've been going through might have a time to rest. But that's quickly changed. You stated you wanted to be in a place where no gods reside. And your claim, your wish, has been honored. Noemi, you step through. And before you open your eyes, based off of where you are right now, based off of who you are right now, you already feel your heart sink. As before you open your eyes, you feel the heat hit your face. And you hear the clanging of chains smacking in the background. You hear pain screamed and yells. And as you open your eyes, you encounter from a high peak, not directly in the jails, but from a high peak, you see this widespread land that is gloomy and dark, yet at the same time is glowing with this just eternal fire of hatred, despair, punishment. But when you look over, you're not alone. Mena is standing beside you in a place where no gods reside and no gods watch over. You two end up in Tartarus.
Oh, fuck.
And that's where we'll end the episode.
Yes.
No!
Oh, damn.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us for this week's episode of Tragedy of Theolosion. I separated my players. They've been gone for so long, and I'm like, what
You
if we
split
did
the
it
party.
again?
It's you who
We
did
split
it.
the party. Don't worry, only half of them are alone. But thank you all for joining us. If you are interested in everyone's socials and who they are, what they're up to, what they're doing, all of their acts are cycled through on their character profiles, so make sure to check them out. We will be back eventually at some point. It's con season. So things are happening, stuff's going on. So we'll be back with the next episode soon. So goodbye, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Goodbye.